Hey everybody, so today we are going to do the whole little free libraries in my area. Now, disclaimer, I live north of the river, and the few little free libraries I've found around here are not that great, and they mostly have little kids books, and they mostly are not very well kept, unfortunately. But I've got to go south of the river to Little Rock and today for a couple errands, and so I thought, well, let's just make it a day of exploring the little libraries in Little Rock. So I have the app downloaded on my phone. I've got my coffee, and I've got I don't know that this will turn around while I'm videoing, but I've got a bag of books in the floor, and I've got my audiobook on ready to go, and so we're just gonna see what the day brings. Hopefully I can find some good books. If not, I can at least unload the books that I have. So how's that? We'll see. Our first stop is, I didn't even know this one was here. It's at the little church down the road, and I've got a stack of books to donate. I think though this is mostly, it looks like it's going to be kids books, but we'll see. Looks like, let's see how they got us locked up in here. Yeah, it looks mostly like kids books. There are some adult books down here, but nothing that I think I want. So I'll leave my books here and we'll go on to the next one. We're at our second stop. This one's kind of cute. Look at the side. They've got it all decked out. How cute. Little flag and all that good stuff. Oh, this one looks cool. Okay. Gotta stand back and look at all this one. Not seeing anything that I really just want off the top of my head. I'm kind of leaning towards The Kill a Mockingbird. I don't know that I have that one. Elected Regrets of Clover. That's a possibility. Summer of My German Soldier. I think I read that in school. I don't remember it, but let's do the To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh wait, let's see here. Night of Miracles by Elizabeth Bird. Let's see what this one's about. Between the Young and the Elderly. So that tugs at me, so maybe we'll do that one. Tuck these in here, and I pulled 3 from, I saw that this was pretty full, so I pulled just 3 from my stash. And the books that I'm getting rid of are just randomness, a lot of nonfiction, but come on. Oh, they've got little stickers. Romance books are my happy place, practice shelf love. That's cute. I'm a fan of stickers, so maybe we'll take that. Let's see if there's anything else. Sign of the Beaver. For whatever reason, I'm kind of like interested in these thin young adult books. So maybe I don't know, maybe I'll take that one. So we traded 4 for 4. How's that? Let me see. Oh, this is my favorite. Monster at the End of the Book. That's my favorite. Yeah, these are all kids' books, but, you know, nothing wrong with kids' books. So, yeah, we traded 4 for 4. We'll do these 4. Like I said, this one's a nice one, so I'm pretty impressed. Our third stop, this one's kind of in a weird spot. It's right in between 2 driveways, so it's kind of hard to find a good spot to... Oh, look at there. Huh. Too bad I'm not all into that. But really, I think that's like all of them. Maybe. Maybe not. So let's see. I've got a handful to donate. So Mysterious Benedict Society. let's see. There's a part of me that wants to take those just to have them, but I won't read them. I just won't read them. But it's just not my thing. So let's see here. Once there were wolves. That might be interesting. Drawing Amanda. Nothing But Sky. And then Big Chicas Don't Cry. Let's see what's up top here. All the Wicked Girls. Last One at the Wedding. The Maid. That's a popular one. I feel like I've read this though. I don't know. Love Letter to Whiskey, Mr. Nash's Ashes. That sounds interesting. Last One at the Wedding. That's pretty. So let's see here. I'm getting bit by a little bug on my leg. We're gonna add One Good Thing, The Good Wife, The Heart is Lonely Hunter, Ben Carson's book, and then some other random book that I had. I think I want to do Once There Were Wolves, and then I think I'm going to go back to the car and see if I've read this, because I feel like I have, but if I haven't, then I'll take it. But if not, so I'm gonna look at my Goodreads and see if I've read this one. If I have, then I won't take it. I'll leave it here, and then I'll take these two. But if I haven't read it, I'll take this one. So, and then we're gonna do the Once There Were Wolves, just because it's pretty. It's a pretty cover. So I don't know what it's about, but we'll see. So, but this one's a pretty nice little. I'm surprised that all these are here. Really, I'm surprised. So, anyways, we're at our next one. This one's in a property owners association around the lake here. I'm not a member of the property owners association, but we're gonna make it happen. This one's kind of crammed, so I don't know if how to brew. I don't know if we'll be able to. Mystery of the Clockwork Sparrow. True story of a teenage burn survivor. Quiche before dying. I don't know what's happening to Grandpa, the boy who couldn't stop. Nothing's speaking to me in this one. It's kind of crammed. It's kind of hot. So I think we'll leave 2 books here and call it done. I don't know if you can see the geese off in the corner or off in the distance. I'm still at the lake property. They have a whole gaggle of geese up there. There's some construction going on here, so it's kind of hard for me to like get out and make a video of the lake and all that, because there's people milling around and all that good stuff. So we'll just leave them be. Okay, we're at the next one, and you guys, this one's just plain sad. Just plain sad. So we'll be leaving a handful of books here. Look, it's empty. Other than 3 little books. Oh, that's a good book. Southern Girls Guide to Newlywed Years, Ward Act. So let's put some books in it. In the messy car. Let's grab some just randomness that I have. Let's give it some books. A few more. You know, like, why not? It needs some books in it. There's 2 more. How's that? How's that? We've got some books in it now, so there you go, little guy. Okay, that last one was a little sad. It had nothing in it. But we put some books in it, so it's got some stuff in it now. I think that's it for my North Little Rock. There's still a few more over here according to the map, but I think I've got to run an errand in Little Rock. So I'm going to head towards Little Rock and see what we can find over that way. So still got a little bit of coffee, and we'll continue on. Well, that was kind of nice. That gentleman there stopped me. I'm still at the little library that was kind of empty, and he's walking his dog, and he stopped me, and you know, stranger danger, so I was kind of nervous to roll down my window, but I cracked it a little bit. I should have had my camera recording, but he said thank you for using the lending library, and you know, he's an older man, and so he was so happy to see the younger generation using the little libraries. And so I said, well, this one was empty, so we had to put some in it. And so I think he lives right down the road, because he came up from right down the road. So, but anyways, he said, you know, I'll have to bring some and keep it filled. And he said that he was pleased that we were using the library. So there you go. We are at our next one. Cutesy little garden. Cutesy little library. How cute. How cute. Oh, it's got a good handful of them. So I think I'm going to another one of those little bitty books. Fondues. Miss Poe. Still Alice. I think I'm going to leave a handful of, I grabbed a handful of graphic novels. Leave it this one. Let's see what's here on this one. Venus and Serena. The Starfisher. And the Rivers. Oh, that one's pretty. A Tale of Two Worlds. This is a good book. Along for the Ride. Middle Place. Without Grace. Mirror Girls. Twins separated at birth, reunited by a curse. Okay. We'll do that. Oh, look at the little gnomes down here. We'll take a handful of them. This is a cute little library. You hear the birds chirping. Cute little library. So that one was our first stop in Little Rock. I'm kind of disappointed. I've passed up 3 because one was on the corner. There was really no parking. I mean, this is a walking neighborhood, so I assume it's for the walkers. There was nowhere to park, so I couldn't stop at that one, unless I wanted to walk. And then I passed one that it looked like it was about to fall down, so I didn't want to be the one to make it fall. And then I passed the third one because it looked like the people were moving. There was a bunch of vehicles and trucks and all that, and so there really wasn't a great place to park. So I'm in Little Rock. I'm working my way towards my errand, and so far I'm not impressed. So that one was a really cute one. That one was really cute. The house is cute. I don't want to video these people's house, but it's really cute. It's an older house with shutters, and they have little moons and stars on the shutter. It's really cute. But anyway, so we're going to continue on. I think I'm going to look at the map again and see if there's any more in this area. I'm almost to my my pickup spot for my errand, and then we'll back up and regroup, because so far I'm not been impressed with the Little Rock ones. But oddly, I was impressed with the ones in Little Rock and North Little Rock that I wasn't thinking. Here's what I figured out. The ones that are at people's houses, like in their front yard, they're very kept up and they're very full and all that. The ones that are at like churches and schools and things like that, it's like nobody's really keeping it up. So maybe that's the few in North Little Rock that I was aware of are at churches, and so they haven't been kept up. But you know, those few that I found this morning that were new to me in North Little Rock, I was pretty impressed with. So so far, if it's the battle of North Little Rock versus Little Rock, so far I'm going with North Little Rock. So but we'll continue on. So this one's not on my route, but I knew this one was here, so we'll go see what's in here. Nothing speaks out to me right now. Ooh, I'm gonna say a spider lives here. I'm gonna drop off 1, 2. I'm not interested. Y'all see that spider web? 3. I'm not interested in spider webs. 4, 5, 6. That's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna move on, because we are not at all interested in spider webs. So I gotta say, I'm kind of excited about this one because a year or so ago, oh, look at that pretty bloom. A year or so ago, I ran across this one. It's over here in Little Rock, and I ran across it when I was right down the road taking a class, and it had some good books in it. And for the life of me, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I wonder if I could find that one. And it just so happens that I found it again. Oh, funny enough, there's not that many in here. This book I'm currently reading, Sandwich, so I have that at home. It's pretty good so far. We're just gonna leave a couple. Nothing major. But I'm glad I found this, and it was just right down the road from the other one that I wasn't aware of. So anyways, that's exciting. So on to the next one. This one is another one on the corner. There's really not a good place to park, but it's across from like a school and all that, so I think that's kind of the idea of being able to just walk up to it. We are going to, nothing's screaming at me right now, so we are going to leave a few random ones. Stranger in the House, that sounds nice and scary. Probably don't need to read that one. Skywriting by Jane Pauley. Yeah, nothing really in here, so I'm gonna drop a few random ones and move on. Again, it's kind of not in a really great space for stopping and looking, so we'll see. Carrying on errands. We are out of coffee and we are out of books, so I'm gonna go to this one last one, and we'll see what they've got, and then we'll work our way back towards home. Okay, this is a pretty big one. We'll see what they've got. I don't have nothing to contribute, so we'll see. We'll see what they've got. Battlefield of the Mind, Joyce Meyer. Where'd you go, Bernadette? Bernadette, this is the hardcover. I've got the softcover at home, and it's on my plans to read it, so. The Bodyguard. Quicksand. Never heard of this one, so I don't know about that. Kiss to Remember. Halle Berry. Four Agreements. I've read that one before. Star-Crossed Sisters of Tuskegee, The Second Summer of the Sisterhood. Us After. Thanks for the little trigger warning. Story of a Soul, Autobiography of St. Therese of Lisieux. Moving on. Unveiling Grace, Death of a Snob, a couple little kids' books. And There Were Girls in a Blink, Once Upon a Prince. How We Say I Love You. The Girl Who Chased the Moon. I've read about this one. What do you think? It's a maybe. We'll set it up here for a maybe. A couple more kids' books. Reckless. Ooh, that's pretty. Scent. A Tale for the Time Being. That might be interesting. And then 5 Stages of Andrew Brawley. A Month of Sundays. Let's see what that was about. How about we take A Month of Sundays and The Girl Who Chased the Moon and A Tale for the Time Being. And again, I don't have anything to contribute to this one, but now that we know it's here, next time we have a load, come on, then we'll contribute. So that's going to be it for now. I think that's all that's on my list, and so we'll work our way back towards home, and then I'll do a little book haul for you guys. So we are back home, and we have a haul. I've got them all stacked up here on the couch. I'm comfy cozy on the couch. So here are my stats. So we ended up going to 10 little libraries, 5 of them in North Little Rock, 5 of them in Little Rock, and we passed up 5 in Little Rock. So because of the parking situation or whatever. So between the Little Rock and the North Little Rock, I'm going to say, because one of them in Little Rock had a spider in it, I'm going to say North Little Rock won this one. Because, again, I did 5 and 5, and then I passed up 5 in Little Rock, and 1 in Little Rock had a spider, so, oof, I don't know. So we got rid of 37 books, I think I had counted, and we ended up with 17. So technically I got rid of 20 books, you know, which is good. I mean, it's good. So those are my stats. We ended up with 1 sticker, Practice Shelf Love. I love it. I'm going to put it somewhere, probably on one of my reading journals. And so I want to go over the books that I ended up getting, and just see what we got. So first off, I'm, like I said, I'm kind of interested in reading some of the classics, and I think I've got in my mind that for the 24-hour readathon thing that I'm going to do for Herkyed, I feel like I want to knock out some of these little books. And so in my shelf in the back, I've got a few of them pulled aside, and then I picked up these today. So we have The Sign of the Beaver, which I thought was kind of funny because that's a bear on there. No idea what this is about. Although he faces his responsibility bravely, 13-year-old Matt is more than a little apprehensive when his father leaves him alone to guard their newly built cabin in the wilderness. When a renegade white stranger steals his gun, Matt realizes he has no way to shoot game and no way to protect himself. It's only after meeting the resourceful Indian boy Atiyan that Matt begins to discover new ways to survive in the forest. So that's pretty interesting. It is a Newbery honors book, so we'll see. Next one of the little ones is Heaven. Coretta Scott King Award. The back is pretty basic. It says, last night, Mama and Pops kept saying that they should have told me what they had to tell me sooner. It's what people who haven't told the truth always say. It's a scholastic book. Should be a pretty quick read. Moving on with the little small ones. Tuck Everlasting. I think I read this book forever ago in school. And so it's a classic, so we'll add that to the list. Bridge to Terabithia, Newbery honors. Again, I think this is a classic as well. Oh, it's got a little note in it. Let's see what the note says. Let's see what the note is. It is at the end of chapter 4. It says, Jess wanted to be the fastest runner in 5th grade. However, Leslie, I don't know, him a race after school on the bus. He ignored her, and when they got off the bus, she ran away. Interesting. So, again, that may be another little quick read. Because of Winn-Dixie, same kind of thing. It is a Scholastics quick read. Newbery. Maybe I'll make a list of Newberries that I want to read. The next one is Milkweed. Let's see here. By Jerry Spinelli. The back says, oh, it's a Newbery medalist as well. He's a boy called Jew, gypsy, spot thief, filthy son of Abraham. He's a boy who lives in the streets of Warsaw. He's a boy who steals food for himself and other orphans. He's a boy who believes in bread and mothers and angels. Milkweed. So we'll see. We'll see what that one's all about. So those are my little bitty ones. Then I did end up getting them made. I looked at my Goodreads, and apparently I haven't read this, which is kind of interesting because I really feel like I have. So it's probably going to be one of these that I get into, and then I'm going to realize, oh, I read this one. So, but, you know, if so, we'll just pass it along to another free library donation. So, Mrs. Nash's Ashes. 2 love stories, decades apart. One chance to prove love is worth the ride. I have a feeling this is going to be like a little time travel, and I don't do well with trying time travel, but we'll see. The ultimate rom-com alchemy, a complete delight. Let's see here. Millicent Watts Cohen is on a mission when she promised her elderly best friend that she'd reunite with her with the woman she fell in love with nearly 8 years ago. Millie never imagined that would mean traveling from D.C. to Key West with 3 tablespoons of Mrs. Nash's remains in her backpack. So that sounds kind of fun. So we'll see. I'm kind of actually excited about this one. Even though if it has some time travel in it, I don't know if it does or not, but if it does, that's probably going to throw me off. All the Wicked Girls. I feel like this is probably a series, in the midst of a series, maybe. I don't know. Chris Whitaker. Also by Chris Whitaker, Tall Oaks, and we begin at the end. So let's see here. Everyone loves Summer Ryan, a model student and musical prodigy. She's a ray of light in the struggling small town of Grace, Alabama, especially compared to her troubled sister Rain. Then Summer vanishes. Summer is the person. Rain throws herself into the investigation, aided by a most unlikely ally, but the closer she gets to the truth, the more dangerous her search becomes. And perhaps there was always more to Summer than met the eye. All the Wicked Girls. So that one may be interesting. Sometimes ordinary lives hide the darkest secrets. Moving right along, the last thing he told me, I feel like I've read this one, or maybe I've checked it out, but I haven't read it, by Laura Dave, author of The 800 Grapes. So anyways, we'll see. Before Owen Michaels disappears, why am I getting all these disappearing books? He smuggles a note to his beloved wife of 1 year, protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers. Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. Bailey, who lost her mother tragically as a child. Bailey, who wants absolutely nothing to do with her new stepmother. Best-selling mystery, Reese Witherspoon Book Club captivated more than 2 million readers. So we'll see. The last thing he told me. We'll see about that one. Moving right along, The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brammer. NPR Best of 2023 selection. I'm a fan of NPR, so we'll see. We'll see what this is all about. What's the point of giving someone a beautiful death if you can't give yourself a beautiful life? From the day she watched her kindergarten teacher drop dead during a dramatic telling of Peter Rabbit, Clover Brooks has felt a stronger connection with the dying than she has with the living. After the beloved grandfather who raised her dies alone while she is traveling, Clover becomes a death doula in New York City. Interesting. I'm interested in death doulas, and I used to work for hospice, and so that's pretty interesting to me. So, dedicating her life to ushering people peacefully through their end-of-life process. So, probing, clever, and hopeful, The Collected Regrets of Clover turns the normally taboo subject of death into a reason to celebrate life. The tagline says, "Death she gets, it's life she can't quite figure out." Sounds interesting. So this whole book haul from the little libraries was totally a judging a book by a cover. Because I didn't take the time to read the backs of these. My thought process was, they looked good. They kind of briefly sounded good from what brief snippet I read in the back. And if I read them, I read them. If I don't, then I'll pass them along to, the next free library. So I'm okay with that. Once There Were Wolves, this one was totally a grab because of the cover. I just thought it was so pretty. Charlotte McConaughey, author of Migrations. Suspenseful and poignant, gripping. When N.T. Flynn arrives in the Scottish Highlands with a team of biologists to reintroduce 14 gray wolves, she hopes to heal not only the dying landscape, but her traumatized twin sister too. N.T. is not the woman she was either, changed by the harm she's witnessed, inflicted by humans on both the wild and one another. Yet as the wolves surprise everyone by thriving, N.T. begins to let her guard down until a farmer is found dead. Knowing where the town will lay blame, N.T. makes a reckless decision to protect her wolves, but if not the wolves, then who was really responsible? And what will N.T. do when the man she is falling for seems to be the prime suspect? So, again, totally a cover. It's got a lady in the woods, so we'll see what that one's about. Next, Night of Miracles by Elizabeth Berg. I feel like I've read something by Elizabeth Berg before. Well, that's okay. I don't like it when the back talks about this is praise for another book that she's read. Tell me about this book. A delightful novel about surprising friendships, community, and the way small acts of kindness can change a life, from the best-selling author's Story of Arthur Truelove. Lucille Howard is getting on in years, but she stays busy, thanks to the inspiration of her dearly departed friend. There's death again. What the heck? She has begun to teach baking classes, sharing the secrets of her delicious classic Southern yellow cake, the perfect pinwheel cookies, and other sweet essentials. Night of Miracles. So there's more about it, but we'll see. It's a hardback. I'm not a huge fan of hardbacks, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. Mirror Girls was the next one that I grabbed. It just looked good. Look at here. Twins separated at birth, reunited by a curse. Look at this. It's got some pretty images on the inside. So anyways, as infants, twin sisters Charlie Yates and Magnolia Heathwood were secretly separated after the brutal lynching of their parents. Now at the dawn of the civil rights movement, Charlie is a young black organizer in Harlem, while white passing Magnolia is the heiress to a cotton plantation in rural Georgia. That actually sounds really good. Magnolia knows nothing of her racial heritage, but secrets are hard to keep in a town haunted by the ghost of its slaveholding past. Steeped in atmosphere, equal parts ghost and sorrow love story. A pitch-perfect Southern Gothic thriller about race, family, and what it means to call a place home. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. We'll see. This one, I don't know what drew me to that. A Month of Sundays. It's got, I don't know if it's poetry. It may be. We'll see. This is a story of an inextinguishable light and how it can always be found burning bright in the dark. In the depths of winter, on the longest night of the year, a guardian stumbles upon a soul in need, struggling in times dark and unforgiving, questioning all their strength and the very purpose of living. This is the tale of how that soul fell apart, retreating into darkest cave to learn the hardest of lessons. But this is also the tale of how that soul survived. It was here the soul discovered that there was a beauty to be found in patience, clarity, and perseverance, and greatness and change. And perhaps above all was the understanding of a secret older than the mountains themselves, that while time can never be borrowed, there is always hope for tomorrow. A Month of Sundays honors the strength in surviving a long winter and is promised that, despite the darkness, the light will undoubtedly return. Interesting. Courtney Peppernell. It's just, it looks like it's like a book of poetry, but it just may be the way it's written. So I'll be interested to dive into that. A month of Sundays. We'll see. Next, we're almost through. The Girl Who Chased the Moon. Again, totally grabbed it because of the cover. Sarah Addison Allen, author of Garden Spells, Random House Reader's Circle. The Girl Who Chased the Moon. A dusting of magic, the aroma of sugary cake swirling through the breeze, and a girl who unwittingly brings change to a town of misfits make for a sweet summer story filled with hope and forgiveness. Okay, so Emily Benedict has come to Mullaby, North Carolina, hoping to solve at least some of the riddles surrounding her mother's life. But the moment Emily enters the house where her mother grew up and meets the grandfather she never knew, she realizes that mysteries aren't solved in Mullaby. They're a way of life. Charming and entertaining. An enjoyable read with doses of magical realism and romance. So we'll see what that's about. Sounds fun. Last but not least, A Tale for the Time Being. I don't know why this, I don't know why this grabbed me. Hi, my name is Noah, and I am a time being. Do you know what a time being is? Well, if you give me a moment, I will tell you. So let's see here. This is a spellbinding tale and delightful. On a remote island in the Pacific Northwest, a Hello Kitty lunchbox washes up on the beach. Tucked inside is the diary of a 16-year-old Japanese girl named Nao Yasutani. Ruth, a writer who finds the lunchbox, suspects that it is debris from Japan's 2011 tsunami. Once she begins to read the diary, Ruth quickly finds herself drawn into the mystery of Nao's fate. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, Nao, uprooted from her home in the U.S., bullied at school, and watching her parents spiral deeper in disaster, has decided to end her life. But first, she wants to recount the story of her great-grandmother, a 104-year-old Zen Buddhist nun, in the pages of her secret diary. A tale for the time being deftly blurs the line between fact and fiction. It's a chunky monkey, but it looks good. So we'll see. We'll see. So that was my haul. Again, we ended up with 17. We got rid of 37, so we did good. And plus we got a sticker, so there is that. Thanks for joining me, and I will say my apologies for the chunky clunkiness of filming. I think doing these little library crawls, would be good and would be more fun if I had somebody to join me, somebody helping me video and all that good stuff. But it's just me, so there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see what the rest brings. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time.